Welcome back to the Too Many Bones series in our solo playthrough. If you remember correctly, we played 2 rounds in the previous video, and in this video, we will play through rounds 3 and 4. We actually didn't finish round 2 since we didn't perform the recovery phase, so we'll do that now. We can't trade loot or make a lockpicking attempt, but we can perform one of the individual options. We can rest and recover, search for better loot, or scout the area. Last round, we scouted the area. This time, Ghillie has lost some HP, so we will take this as our chance to recuperate. Ghillie will gain back his 2 health chips back to a full health of 6. In the last video, Eric French, a subscriber, pointed out that I missed Ghillie's innate skill, which is Scout. When we use Scout, we can reveal a baddie from the top of one of the baddie stacks, then we can cycle it to the bottom if we wish. So we'll try not to miss that again. Anyways, let's remember our stats and skills. We have 6 health, 3 attack, 4 dexterity, and 2 defense. We also have our Tiger Companion die, which we deployed in the last battle. So now begins day 3. We will move our glass speed by 1 space, with Ghillie coming face to face with the raging river. Now the encounter phase. An encounter card is drawn. Cross the Cibran. The Cibran River, a glistening vein of trade running the length of Daylor, playfully beckons as it shimmers in the daylight up ahead. But with so few bridges in these parts, this crossing is an obvious spot for enemy scouts and traps. A journey of this importance leaves only 2 options. Tucking the ears and trying to blend in is risky, but efficient. A boat at dusk carries less chance of discovery, but requires business with the Molnor, a trading syndicate with their own set of drawbacks. We have 2 options. We can tuck our ears and act like commoners, where we play a game of chance with the dice. Or we can hire the Molnor and add a new special encounter to our encounter deck. But we want training points, so we're going to try our luck with Sneakin'. We need to roll a 3, 4, 5, or 6. If we roll a 1 or 2, we are spotted and we'll have to confront the Tyrant encounter on the next day, which would be pretty bad. Luck is with us and we have rolled a 3. We have gained 2 progress points for completing this encounter, and we also receive 1 training point. Based on the results of the last video's comments, we will train Multi-Arrow, one of the skills in the Ranger category. Multi-Arrow allows us to roll a die to see if we can use our attack dice to hit a second baddie. Now the recovery phase. We won't trade loot or work on lockpicking, but we will do an individual action. We will scout the area since we like our loot and we already have full health. We rolled a 4, which allows us to reveal up to a 5-point baddie. Since it is day 4 and we have 1 gear lock, we won't be facing a 5-pointer, so we will reveal 1-point baddie. We have revealed the Troll Romper, which we will not cycle to the bottom because we're not afraid. Day 3 is over and day 4 begins. Since we gained 2 progress points this encounter, we will move an extra space on the map. Now the encounter phase. We draw a new encounter, a dire situation. My desire to sleep is clashing with my fear of being eaten by wolves. These torches only burn for so long. Must stay awake. Wow! Jolted from my involuntary slumber, my sleeping gear becomes a tornado of chaos as I scramble from under my blanket. A few dying embers flicker weakly in the expiring fire, giving just enough light to see nothing at all. I look up to find some moonlight through the trees, but my view of the night sky is suddenly eclipsed by the evil glow of 2 huge yellow eyes. As I slowly stand, my stomach turns as I realize I'm still only half the beast's size at best. I desperately fumble through my belt for a weapon that's not there, and this dire wolf looks hungry. Great, we have 2 options. We can find our weapon, which means we can't use our skill dice for the first 2 rounds. Or we can find our pack, which means we can only use skill dice for the first 2 rounds. We're definitely going with the first choice, as our tiger would be wiped out the first round, and Multi-Arrow would be useless without our attack dice. It is time to battle. We find the dire wolf, the 5-point wolf, and the dire wolf pup, the 1-point wolf, and they will be our baddie queue. 5-pointers go on top of 1-pointers, so we draw the dire wolf first. The dire wolf is intimidating with 6 health. We also give it the first lane marker, and it has 4 initiative. The dire wolf is placed in the first lane melee position. Next, the dire wolf pup, which has 3 health and gains the second lane marker. It has 3 initiative. The dire wolf pup is placed in the second lane melee position, and its initiative die is placed in the meter. Now we roll Ghillie's initiative die, which comes back at 5. This places Ghillie's turn first before both the wolf and the pup. We will place Ghillie as far away from the dire wolf as possible in the right hand ranged corner. Round 1 begins and Ghillie has 4 dexterity, and we are only able to roll stats the first 2 rounds. Ghillie will roll 3 attack dice and 1 defense die, targeting the dire wolf. We want to defeat it before it tries to attack us, as it rolls 4 attack dice. 3 total damage, 1 defense, and 1 bones is rolled. The bones is placed in the backup plan, and the defense die is placed into the active slot. The dire wolf has no defense against the 3 ranged attacks, so it will lose half of its health right off the bat. Not a bad start. Lashback does not occur, as Ghillie is not adjacent. Ghillie's turn has ended, and the dire wolf's turn begins. The dire wolf will move 2 spaces towards Ghillie, and end its turn since it is not adjacent to attack. Now for the dire wolf pup's turn, and it will also move 2 spaces towards its target, arriving adjacent to Ghillie. The dire pup will roll 1 attack die for its attack. It has rolled 1 hit, which takes out Ghillie's defense in his active slot, leaving him bare. Round 1 is over, and only 1 round more until we can use our skill dice. We'll definitely be able to hold off until then. Ghillie goes first, and he has 4 dex. Now, I don't want to be formulaic, but this encounter kind of forces you to be, so 3 attack dice again and 1 defense die. Ghillie will target the dire wolf again with his attack dice. Ghillie has succeeded with 2 hits on the dire wolf, and he will also add 2 bones to his backup plan. The dire wolf is left with 1 remaining health and is unable to lash back since it's not adjacent still. Ghillie will use his backup plan now, spending 3 bones to use Fortunate Discovery. This allows him to choose one of his consumable dice. He will choose the bait consumable and place it in his skill slot. The dire wolf's turn has come, and since we effectively blocked it with the pup's movement, it will have to move towards Ghillie a different way. Once again, it is the dire wolf pup's turn, and it will roll 1 attack die. 2 hits are made, and since Ghillie has no defense die, he will take the full blow. Ghillie is left with 4 health. Round 3 is upon us, and with that, skill dice. It is Ghillie's turn, and he will use one. Ghillie will use his multi-arrow skill die, which will allow him to target multiple enemies, and he will also use 3 attack dice for maximum effect. Ghillie will target the dire wolf to finish it off, so as to avoid a huge amount of damage. Ghillie has rolled 3 hits, and with his multi-arrow, he is allowed to use 2 attack dice for another target. The 3 applied hits finish off the dire wolf, and its chip creates a new discard pile for 5-point baddies. With the multi-arrow, Ghillie targets the pup with 2 attack dice as well, leaving it with a single health chip. Since Ghillie is adjacent, the pup lashes back for 1 health. Since the multi-arrow skill was used during this interaction, it is placed in the exhausted skill area until the end of the battle. The pup's turn has come again, and it rolls its attack dice, scoring a hit on Ghillie. The 3rd round is over, and the 4th round begins with Ghillie's turn. Ghillie will use his 4 dex to roll 3 attack dice and 1 defense die, just in case. Boom! 4 hits, we just overkilled this wolf pup to the max. The pup is placed into the 1-point baddie discard pile, and Ghillie has succeeded against this encounter. Ghillie is placed back into his prep area, as well as his initiative die, and his skill die is returned to the skill area on the gearlock mat. For his reward, Ghillie gains 1 loot and 2 training points, as well as another progress point. Ghillie draws a loot card and gains the throwing axe card, which has 2 uses. During your roll, roll 1 attack die and deal its damage to any unit on the battle mat. Next, with the first training point, Ghillie will up his dexterity by 1, leaving him with 5 total dexterity. With his second training point, Ghillie will train Rusted Spikes, which is one of Ghillie's traps. We will see what Rusted Spikes can do in the next video, but for now, comment below to tell me what you think would work well as Ghillie's next skill. In the meantime, feel free to give me those likes and subscribe to my channel. If you're interested in supporting my channel, check out the links in the description to see my Patreon and PayPal accounts.